Thought I saw him come back. All right.
All right. So we are officially going to begin here. We are live streaming on a few different platforms across our AMZ Insiders community here. Obviously, those on Zoom here, feel free to ask questions here. And yeah, really, really excited for this session here. And actually, it works well that Lauren's over in Europe because we're moving some of our trainings to a little bit earlier in the afternoon here in the US, which actually works for those that are in Europe versus making it the middle of the night. But Lauren I've known Lauren for a few years now, and most recently we crossed paths at a mastermind. We're always talking about getting to events, but more than that, her and Joey had a couple of really cool podcasts. So I think both those episodes are up. They're actually crushing it. Both of those are like, people really love them. So if you haven't listened to them, make sure you check out the Fearless Sellers podcast. Find Lauren's episode. She actually has 2 episodes, I think, in the same week, which I think's the only time we've done that because it was very quick because you had there was some breaking news I knew, so you jumped back on again. But that being said, I think it ties to what you're going to share today. It's so you guys definitely want to pay attention. Again, Lauren's got a ton of expertise and insight, and works with a lot of brands and has a big team. And really applicable stuff that all of us can learn from and apply right away. And Joey mentioned that she was already jumping on some of the things as well too. So with that, Lauren, I'll hand it over to you. And thanks, John. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Okay, so I hope everyone can see this screen. Of course, I'll make everything available, whatever Sean and Jamie want. A lot of what we're going to be talking about is, make sure this works, is how you can supercharge your Amazon strategy with Pinterest. As Jamie alluded, the Breaking News podcast will be covering a lot more because Pinterest has already been a really successful social media platform for driving traffic to either your .com store or your Amazon listings. Because Pinterest is a place where you inspire people to take action. But what we had done with the breaking news, and I'll give you more specifics on that later, is where we're really going to be diving into the success of Pinterest specifically for your Amazon stores. Like, this is my bar none. I do not think there will be a better social media platform for your Amazon listing organically than Pinterest. You can fight me on this one. I'm totally welcome to the debates, but there's no other social media channel that really is set up for people to leave the social media platform. TikTok, Instagram, even Snapchat, they all want you to stay within that same ecosystem. And Pinterest is like, nope, go out in the world, be inspired to take action elsewhere. So because of that, I really think there's this huge, huge opportunity for Amazon brands that are looking to get domination for all of their content compared to their competitors. Because I know they're not going to do this. Like, I know for sure they're not going to do this. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Jamie or John, I may need to quick. Can you see if I pull open the chat? Is it showing as the way I'm sharing my screen, or do you seeing just the presentation itself?
Yeah, just your presentation. We don't see the person, just own chat if they share it. Yeah.
Yes, I want to keep the chat open because I'm all for interruptions, everyone. Like, if you have a question, if you need me to pause or slow down, we've got about 12 slides. And this content, I want to be as rich as available to you. So if something is confusing, like interrupt away, I'll have then the chat open so I can connect things. So Debbie's first question being like, do we have to connect our Pinterest business account with our personal account? That's a really, really good question out the gate. We're talking specifically about Pinterest business accounts. You do not want your personal account and your Pinterest, they're two separate. Your Pinterest business account should have your company's logo as the image, and you'll want to work on getting that domain verified, which I'm excited. If your only domain is your Amazon listing, if you have a .com, awesome. You can have that be the domain verified, but like literally what's coming and ahead of Q4 is the assumption, all of the rumors about this being fully implementable by Black Friday. So there's a lot of early betas going out. We'll make that even stronger, but it's for sure out the gate. I'm specifically talking about business listings. If you have a personal listing, you can just go to your settings and switch it over to a business listing and then change small things like especially the profile photo. Actually, Joelle had done that herself. So it doesn't take more than 30 seconds, I promise. So with the Amazon Domination and Pinterest specifically geared towards social commerce, I do want to explain a little bit of what social commerce means. So social commerce is the intersection of e-commerce and social media. So if you're creating all this content, let's assume you all have Instagram accounts that you're creating this awesome content, you're carrying over A+ content and doing these posts that maybe received crickets, but you're still doing the things that you're being told to do by all the other individuals out there. I recognize this is a shiny object. It's a shiny object that delivers more results than any of the other platforms that I've seen. And with social commerce, you're able to set up, if you see on other stores, you can click on a product and it takes you to that listing and you're able to buy on some occasions in app. Right. So right now, Meta has launched that for social commerce. You must accept their 5% commission, essentially, much better than Amazon, but you still have to accept that commission rate or you will not be able to tag your products anymore. That's officially going to be closed to anyone tagging their products in April 2024. So that's next year, but they've already started pulling back the ability to tag products on the organic social media content with stricter rollouts in August. What social commerce is that opportunity to tag the products and then connect it to the purchase transactional element without having someone need to leave platform. So with Amazon Domination and Pinterest social commerce, this is going to be arguably the most impactful social media channel because Pinterest will be the first and only social media platform with direct integrations with Amazon. And I'll talk more specifically about that in a bit. But what we'll be going through on the next few slides is talking about like who is Pinterest for, why an Amazon business can celebrate success on Pinterest, overcoming some of the assumptions around Pinterest. And then of course, most importantly, it's, how are you measuring your results? Because we are not in the game of ticking boxes and hiring VAs to do work for us just to do the work. Like we're not running nonprofits, we're running profitable Amazon businesses. And we want to expand and scale our businesses and get in front of new customers. Amazon's amazing, right? So much inbound traffic, and then you're paying a lot for ads. But wouldn't it be great if we can start getting diverse traffic sources to our listings and bring new people that are inspired and they're in the higher top of funnel phase where they're seeking out, hey, what tools are great in my kitchen? What resources can I gift my family for various holidays? Pinterest is a really good place for that because it's kind of above the noise of other social media channels as well. So, first and foremost, hello, I'm Lauren. Here's some information about me. You can read more about it later or reach out on LinkedIn, totally fine. That's my preferred channel. But we've been doing Pinterest for years. And what we've seen successfully with Pinterest is accounts that we created assets for Pinterest 5 years ago, are still generating hundreds of clicks from those posts to the various destinations that we sent them to. So those destinations can be a .com page or an Amazon listing. Full disclosure, because of current limitations, you don't have that visibility of traffic from a social media platform to Amazon. That's the same as every other social media platform. But again, why we're talking about the impact of Pinterest for your Amazon listing is because it's not going to be that data deprived in the future, which is, so I'm so grateful you guys are all here to listen to me talk about a platform that is so 2015 that is about as useful as Justin Timberlake's tips in a lot of people's opinion. And I'm talking about his frosted blonde tips from way back when. But it is a platform that is generating tons and tons of traffic from social media to the respective URLs. Pinterest, overcoming a lot of assumptions. I'm sure, I'm not sure. I don't know how many people in this chat are active on Pinterest or have a Pinterest account. That would be really good to just get an understanding of where everyone is at. But I'm assuming, like most, we think that Pinterest is really for yes, Okay, you have a personal account, that'd be awesome. I'm assuming that they're like, oh yeah, Pinterest is for moms that can't sleep at 3 a.m, or it's for women that are planning their weddings. There's a lot of assumptions that it's really connected to a specific audience. But fun fact, only 60% of active Pinterest users are women. And 60% is so much closer to 50% than I think anyone here on this call would have guessed. Pinterest is, in my opinion, the perfect place for e-commerce providers and then service or infopreneur brands, because if they have an asset or a service that they can sell, even if it's a local, it's still a place to generate a lot of visibility. Why Pinterest is great for a lot of businesses is the global brand recognition. Fun facts about Pinterest: Pinterest.com, Pinterest.Korea, Pinterest.UK, Pinterest.France, Pinterest.every other country in between is sourcing various posts organically and distributing it to continuously new markets to see what type of engagement other markets are interested in seeing your content. So it's not just a hyper localized platform. It does give you a lot more visibility and a lot more data that supports behind it. But in that full disclosure of how many people are on the platform, 85% of them are still in the United States. They only opened up, I think, like 2 months ago, the Russia Federation. So it had been blocked to certain regions in the world, but 85% are from the United States, which is where most of customers for Amazon stores are. So you get that increased visibility and increased conversations, as well as tons of data in case you're exploring additional markets to introduce your Amazon listings to. But 85% of users are most active in the United States, which is not true for every other social media platform you're competing on. These industries that we default and assume that Pinterest on is crowded. It does have a lot more assumption and a lot more bandwidth for those in the food and beverage space, for travel, health, beauty, entertainment, home decor, weddings and events, of course. These we know and assume are great destinations for Pinterest. So you've got a market that's already looking for you, obviously. I want to recommend you, if you're not in one of these categories, to I implore you to start up a Pinterest account. We were consulting for one client and they're in the water treatment space. They didn't think they had a business whatsoever on Pinterest. And within 72 hours of watching a similar type of training, they had gotten a very qualified and eager lead into their water treatment products. So if it's not obvious on Pinterest, it's also not obvious to your competitors. And there's such a supply and demand issue on Pinterest right now for these non-obvious industries. So if you aren't in the obvious Pinterest one, again, I implore you to make a business account with Pinterest, because it's almost unfair. But if you are in these obvious categories, what you know is then you have a higher qualified, ready to buy sooner audience where people are expecting you to already be present. And of course, things about businesses that want to be on Pinterest. If you're in an industry where you aren't opening and closing your shop, there are some brands that will have pop-ups and limited editions and stuff that's not evergreen. If you have content that is evergreen, the life decay of a Pinterest post in comparison to other social media platforms is about 1,200 times longer and more effective. So the average tweet lasts 18 minutes. The Instagram post can last 2 days. A Facebook post can last 4 hours. And then TikTok varies based off of demographic. Pins don't show up in a feed in a chronological order. They show up in a search engine keyword specific based platform. So your pins have an average lifetime of 3 to 4 months of continuous growth and visibility. And as referenced earlier, we have clients that have posts that they've abandoned Pinterest as an option. This is a lot of the hospitality brands that we worked with, and through COVID, not all of them continued to exist. But their Pinterest accounts are still picking up so much visibility. I'm just sell your Pinterest asset. Please just sell your Pinterest asset. But like these pins last so much longer than other social media platforms because they're rich with keywords, and every Amazon seller here knows the importance of keywords. So why not get on board the social media platform that was built around that search engine hybrid? So specifically going to like how your Amazon businesses can benefit. Fun fact, there are more active users on Pinterest than there are LinkedIn. And I say that as a fun fact because a lot of business owners are like, oh, I need to be active on LinkedIn. It's the most visible. Like, yes, there are more millionaires on LinkedIn, but there are a lot more consumers on Pinterest. And by a lot more, I mean, like, there are also more active users. Pinterest as a whole has really important features that I just want to break down a little bit. So we've got boards, pins, and promoted content. Promoted content is sponsored ads. All of us are familiar with what ads are. What I'm talking to is that you don't need them. Absolutely, you can add them and like scale up even further. But honestly, until you're at like at least 500,000 organic visitors per month, or if you hit some sort of ceiling, like I won't spend money. You don't need to spend money. You're going to get all of this organic exposure where it's going to feel like Facebook reached 2014. The pins are the posts, right? So we're familiar with like in feed or like highlight stories. Pinterest uses the term pins. And so that's for any type of pin. There's rich pins, standard pins, idea pins. It's always pins. It's Pinterest. So that's where they come from. And then boards is a way that you can organize all of your resources together. If you're using Instagram a lot, you might have seen like Instagram guides where you can curate specific posts into a collection so that the user can kind of like dive down a rabbit hole or see it as like a listicle of sorts. Boards is an amazing feature that is unique to Pinterest because you can curate all the content around a specific subject that your ideal customer is interested in. So I don't know if you all are comfortable in the chat of sharing like what industry you're in or what type of product you have. But if you're comfortable, I'm really happy to see if I can pull and give examples to your specific product category or product type. So Debbie with the pet industry, based on what products you're providing, you can have boards that are set up like favorite leashes for dogs under 25 pounds. You can have different board categories for like gifts every dog lover must own. Other things that you can have in the, we'll use the baby industry, Rachel. For the baby industry, you might have like products that help with colics, or you might have like top gift ideas for moms with baby boys. You can make these boards and put these posts together so that if someone is like, oh my gosh, yes, I need to find products for this baby shower. Oh my gosh, baby shower alone. Like we've done a board in the baby industry that generated over 500,000 views in 60 days, repurposing everything from Instagram. So full disclosure, Rachel, on that, like that's the baby industry is just, it's easy. And to that like actual like example of 500,000, and we'll say under 90 days, because it's just easier than going to specific, I think it was like 58. But that 500,000 views require no more than 15 minutes of interaction from the client. So if you've got a team, if you've got a VA, you can delegate this off. All you can do is just repurpose the content, extract from what you've already created, and then bring it to Pinterest as a thriving platform to host it. So this boards allows you to organize your content in a way that's great for the user to review, and that's also like great for your own sanity. I'm sure someone's got or curate others' contents. Yes, absolutely. You can curate others' contents. It doesn't have to be just yours. I would lean against it because you want to keep all the traffic for you. I mean, if it makes sense, like say you were doing like a baby name board or a pet inspiration board, that might make sense. So yes, Evan, VA is for virtual assistant. Like you can curate those pieces together in a way that helps the user at the end of the day. But if you see someone else that's making a board or has like a piece of content that they're pinning or that you would incorporate, just go into Canva and put something together. Again, in a virtual assistant, like you can tap into really talented and well-experienced individuals around the globe that can do this faster and way more affordable than your own time, because obviously there's resource of time and money. And I'm letting you know that setting up your Pinterest is really dependent upon consistency, having already content that you've probably posted elsewhere, so you're repurposing it, and just having a plan. So once you have a clear SOP, like that absolutely can be delegated off. So you don't have to feel burdened by this at all, because it's not a burden. It's just repurposing and getting the most out of your previous efforts. Like, who doesn't want to see a TikTok that got crickets not generate 4,500 views in 2 days that got nothing in 2 months? Like, these are numbers that we've seen time and time again. You get to change from crickets to crushing it, is the kind of way we would describe it. So it's, you've already spent the energy. It's 10% more additional effort that is really easy to delegate, or something that you can employ yourself as just like a part of your day. The 10 minutes you're spending on like checking out reels or, gosh, comedians get me so hard on Instagram, can be done of repurposing your content in a way that will generate up to 500,000 visitors within 90 days to your profile, month over month over month. It's not just a one time, it's a compounding growth. It's like interest. It's incredible. So your Amazon business can benefit from this, because if you're taking, especially if you're doing like Amazon posts, you're taking that content and consistently bringing it into your Pinterest platform, layering some keywords, which, by the way, we use ChatGPT. So we have a system where we take a post, we throw into ChatGPT, give me a headline that's 80 characters, because you get 100. And so we tell ChatGPT to do 80, because sometimes it pushes higher. And then give me a description that's, you know, between 350 to 450, because you get a maximum character of 500. Using these keywords, you'll get that generated. And then it's just literally like copy, paste, post, publish, copy, paste, post, publish. Like I promise you, it's so much easier than the other platforms. And I recognize that it's a shiny object, and there's 1,000 other things that you're all working on for your listings. But I cannot urge you enough about the importance of Pinterest for Amazon sellers, because of their Amazon integration that they announced like April 27th. So not even a month ago. Oh no, just over a month ago. That's when Shwana, I was like, I need to tell you this. This is breaking news. So to that extent, you know, your business can benefit by repurposing, using keywords. You don't have to use tools like Helium 10 or any other tools for keywords. You can, if you want to, because you already know your keywords. But honestly, the keywords that matter for Pinterest is just your predictive search. If you're, so let me go back. It was Debbie's in the pet industry. Debbie, if you go into the Pinterest search bar, and then say maybe you have products for Pomskis, because I have a Pomski. He's perfect. He's amazing. And then you maybe make a board that's like products for Pomskis. If you literally type in Pomski, you're going to see a list of those predictive keywords that other users are entering in. That's the extent of your keyword research. No extra software is needed. No extensive SOP. You just type in something you think your audience wants to connect to, and then you'll start to see all the relevant terms. And if you already have keywords you're using for your Amazon listing, great, pop them in, and then you'll know exactly which keywords to implement. And then you'll want to use those in your title and your description. And if you have ChatGPT or another AI tool, pop them in, give me a headline using this keyword. You can describe what the picture's about. You can give past posts that you've used. And then again, copy, paste, post, publish. So things like these are all really strong benefits that Amazon brands can absolutely take advantage of, that has a supply and demand concern that most sellers aren't using. And one thing is, if you are consistent, because you're consistent elsewhere, you're able to be even more consistent than your other competitors. Because some people, it's like going to the gym, right? You like build a muscle. When you post, say after this call, you're like, oh, I'm so ready. Lauren, I'm going to download the the Pinterest Chrome extension. I'm going to set up my business profile, and I'm just going to start clicking on images, because I'll show you how you can do that. And if there's time at the end of this training, because Jamie, I should know, like, should watch time. Oh, do I need to stop in 24 minutes hard? 26 minutes?
No, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. We can be flexible. Just, but yeah, let's keep an eye, whatever makes sense. So we'll be good.
Cool. So with that being said, it is going to be something that like you most of you probably haven't even thought of using Pinterest as a strategy. So you're already 90 leagues ahead of the curve of people that aren't using it. And because of this, which I have on the screen now, what Amazon has announced, I envision that come Q4 or even 2024, probably towards the end of 2024, we're going to start to see more brands coming onto Pinterest, but it takes 8 to 9 days after your first post before you really even start to see any traction. And then it's just this compounding growth. So the sooner you get on, especially with your Amazon integrations that's coming, you're likely going to get access to betas. We have seen a history of where these social media platforms, when they roll out social commerce elements, which is where you'll be able to buy on your Amazon product directly from a Pinterest post, that they give away free ad credit because they want to test the platform and then make it more enticing and attractive to other users. So while I can't make that guarantee, I can tell you we have seen that time and time again with social commerce platforms of just oodles and oodles of money. Like last Q4 for a month and a half, we had over $250,000 that we had received in free social commerce money because of new stuff that was being rolled out. So our clients who were already active with their social commerce plays, had an active account, got that free money. So that's my crystal ball of what I've seen historically written, and that this is the first and only time that Amazon has really connected with a social media platform to this extent. Some best practices for Pinterest, because you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I definitely want to put like these keywords in my pin description and my pin headline and in the alt image text, because you can also describe what that image is. So there's multiple places for you to take advantage of those keywords. You're like, okay, what do I do? What are some best practices? First and foremost, Pinterest is a visual search engine, right? So we talked about keywords a lot, title, description, and then you can also use it in the alt image text. It's a visual search engine. So where you can absolutely get away with stock images, 100%, where it's like, I'm telling you, this supply and demand issue. We have one account that surpassed 50,000 organic views in under 45 days with our posting strategy. Using all these stock images. Like, that shouldn't work on a visual first platform, but when there's such a supply and demand, they're in a service industry. They have very few competitors on the platform. It was like throwing sticks of dynamite into a barrel because we got so much visibility. And it wasn't even like the best pictures. This is using stock photos that anyone else can use because they're using a Canvas Pro account. So if you can create eye-catching and relevant pins for your audience using a picture that makes sense, and especially if you have UGC, it's even better, you are going to find success on Pinterest. Our theory, if you will, is Pinterest essentially is able to understand and see pictures that are being used. So if you're using stock photos that someone else has used, we have seen depreciated reach in comparison or in respect to other pins and other boards that are full of original content. When you have original content that's being brought to Pinterest, we've just seen that it works better. So we call it the theory of a spam filter. So even if you don't have original content, great. Use the stock photos. We still say it's going to be going through a spam filter, which will have suppressed reach and impressions. But I'm telling you that in 45 days, a client who was swearing up and down, they have no business because they're a white labeling company for services of having on Pinterest. They were able to get over 50,000 monthly views, which is recurring. So that has grown 2x since then of users using stock photos. A best practice is optimizing pins with keywords, of course. I'm not going to say enough about the keywords because it's search-based, right? It's not in chronological. You're finding solutions to what you're looking for. Really, really good practice for anyone that has IG Reels or TikToks, that short form content, YouTube Shorts, anything that's a short form video that's in the tall platform. You upload those babies as idea pins. And even since our podcast dropped, they've added the opportunity to extend. It's not even just link in bio. They have a lot more platforms and they're rolling it out completely by end of year where you can put those videos and add a link. If that's not unlocked for your account yet, I promise you it's coming. So you will need to continue to add link in bio in your description. But these videos, these Instagram Reels that you made, these TikToks, throwing them up onto Pinterest using AI in 30 seconds to get your description and your title and add in link in bio in the description is going to get you so much more visibility on something that literally probably got nothing. And if it did get visibility on your other social media platforms, it's going to get so much more because it's been proven on a more competitive space, which is the Instagrams and the TikToks world, into a place that is deprived of video-rich content. So repurposing that content is a game changer if you have that, because Pinterest is definitely catering more content to the short form video. Specifically in times, we're seeing the best videos being the ones that are between 6 seconds and 15 seconds. So even if you're like, oh, I don't know how to like do a reel, you know what, just take it of your product. And even if you're like spinning it around for 6 seconds, that's fine. It's still a, content deprived network that is demanding supply and returning dividends if you can provide assets that other brands aren't providing. With this best practice of pinning consistently and fresh content, again, it's where it favors UGC, original content, and the consistency is where you see just really massive growth. You will still get visibility, but if you're able to continuously post, you're going to see just a greater bang for your buck. What I have here as an ideal practice is that you're sharing at least one idea pin, so that's a short form video, and 5 standard pins per day. You're like, holy smokes, 6 posts a day? Yeah, because you're repurposing it. You're not creating necessarily original content. You're taking what you've already posted everywhere else, throwing it into ChatGPT, and then, based off of how fast you get it dialed in, this would be 10, maximum 20 minutes of your day to get hundreds of potential visitors to your listing every month from that one post. Please interrupt me if you have questions. Here, that's just some more like high level stuff. Like you can absolutely reach back and review this, but this is like our good, better, best recommendations of how often you can post. Choose one that you can do consistently for at least 4 to 6 weeks. It's not great to do, like 8 posts one day and then 4, 6 weeks later. You want to be consistent because you'll be rewarded for that consistency, and like repurpose it. Repurpose stuff that you've already created, bring it to the platform. And that content, even if you're like, oh, I don't have videos or images, take a blog that you might have written. Take blogs that you've seen your competitors write, pull out some of their value, put it into a Canva post 2x3. So it's a 1000 by 1500 image, throw it in there. And then even that basic of value given content will be rewarded with impressions, with clicks, with saves, and with engagement. And other ways to engage with the audience on your account, specifically for techniques that you can grow. Again, like this could be a drinking game. How many times I'm going to reference keywords, because as Amazon sellers, you know this, but using those keywords, ideally high quality images. Like you don't want images that are like static and look like they were taken from a Kodak disposable in 1995. We all have smartphones, and high quality visuals with tools like Canvas or even Adobe, like stock photos. Those are going to give you more impressions, the more visually stunning, the more stunning your results. Pinning popular and relevant content specifically around trends. I'm going to put it here in the link, but if you go to trends.pinterest.com, a free website, you will see exactly what's trending right now. And Joie brought up, like, this is a really good place, guys, to go find product ideas, because trends.pinterest.com is telling you what's popping in specific regions, what that theme is. And Pinterest is a place that people go that is, 6 to 9 weeks earlier than they would be checking on other platforms or Google. So you're capturing that audience before most of your competitors. And if you see what's trending, like if say you were in a place, you're like, oh, I love Pinterest, I'm going to be proactive. You see what's trending and you've got content that's related to that trend, boom, you throw it up. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't think of a really good reference, but it's like adding more Parmesan cheese to your Italian pasta, which is like that's all I'm eating right now. So if you don't like cheese or if you're lactose, I'm really sorry. It's adding more kale to your smoothie. No, that's not. That's my assumption. If you don't like cheese or if you're lactose, you're kale connoisseurs. But staying aware of those Pinterest trends, leveraging them. You don't have to figure out anything. It's literally there in trends.pinterest.com. It tells you, Pinterest is like, hey guys, this is how you can be successful. Here's the roadmap. And then just that consistency again is going to be the most impactful way you can find success on platform. But success is only worth its weight in like ROI and measurable results. So the Pinterest analytics that are available, you can definitely go way deeper. Like we know that other platforms have like thousands and stuff, but honestly, it's exhausting to go through all the data. I love how Pinterest sets up their analytics because it's really direct. You can go deeper if you want to, but you can see what locations people are buying from. You can see what parts of the world, what demographic breakup you have by, male, female, what their hobbies are. It's really great if you're using other paid avenue channels and you're looking for interest targeting, because they're going to tell you what interests your respective pinners are already engaging with as well. I'm like, you'll see, like we had one account where people were super into financial trading courses. Like you can find really interesting interests that you can leverage and repurpose to other platforms for your targeting. So there's a lot of great insights you can get from the audience insights tabs. But these KPIs are the ones that like, you don't look at 1,000 of them. Honestly, if you were to choose one KPI to rule them all, like what is success? It's how many outbound clicks. So this outbound clicks tells you how many people you took off of Pinterest to go to your respective URL. That could be your Amazon listing. That could be your product. That could be your .com. That could be even like a post on it, whatever that is. You can see and track how many people took action, left your pin to go somewhere else. Other ones that matter, of course, is going to be monthly views, because this is like your impressions. And it's something that keeps happening, not just a one-time. It's an assumed amount of views that's every single month. And that compounds growth. Well, technically there's a difference between impressions and monthly views. I'm letting you know, like monthly views just be easier. You'll see and like assume it's just like impressions. I can go way deep for those that really want to, but for the most part, my key takeaway is like set up a business account, bring your content you've already made, throw it onto Pinterest. Even if it's not even the most optimized size, just bring it to Pinterest and then watch this visibility grow. Other things like saves and engaged audiences, that's just like where social media is still a platform that Pinterest identifies with, even though it's also a search engine. So it's a social media search engine hybrid. And what you have with like your engaged audiences for social media, it's the most unsocial social media platform. You don't have to reply to DMs. It doesn't matter if you reply back on comments. It's other people engaging with the content where they're connecting with other users. So not connecting with your brand. Pinterest doesn't want you to feel that you're obligated to stay on platform. They want people to see your content, leave the platform, and go check out what your product is offering. So, sorry, I'm like blocking part of this. The most important thing of like why this is most relevant for Amazon sellers, like it's so neglected by your competitors. The higher buyer intent and the sooner you can get in front of these individuals, you're capturing them in their highest consideration phase that they're not even going to think about your other competitors. Like when you look at top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, this is the highest top of funnel, but people are going and planning. And then they can start to become aware of like, okay, what the price is, what's the brand that I'm aware of. So you're literally capturing them. It's like as if you're fishing in a part of the lake that none of the boats are at, and all the boats are downstream, but you're here where all the fish are and all the boats are competing because they're right next to each other. So it's like once you want to fish where all the fish are and it's only your boat, that's what Pinterest allows you to do. Of course, Amazon, like we know how much external traffic matters. And with Pinterest being that platform compared to other social media platforms, like you're not going to find that same success anywhere because of other elements with like Google and like rankings of other stuff. We have seen our pins going back to like Korea and France and Ireland. We have seen our pins be picked up by blogs that Pinterest makes where they curate. They make essentially like their boards, they make their own blogs, their ideas, where they'll pull the best of what they're seeing across Pinterest everywhere, and then say like, hey, Pinterest Korea has like, hey, top like baby wipes, right? Or they'll have like ideas for baby wipes. Or Ireland might have like tea tree oil benefits, and then pull various different ones. Not only does that give you visibility to your product, but depending on where you're sending the listing, you're now going to have Pinterest.Ireland linking back. So if you have a .com, it's link juice that's at an 80 to a 96, because that's what we see on Ahrefs all the time of what those links are. And then if you go to your Amazon listing, it's just more power, that external traffic to your listing, so that your product is going to show up on other channels that people are seeking out inspiration, not just Pinterest, but the Googles and the other search engines of the world. Some statistics that we have here is like the 5 times higher intent of users than other platforms. It's because people go there with a plan. They know it's like walking into Target. Like, you know, when you walk into those Target doors, you're spending money. You know it. You're there to be inspired. And sure, you say you're going to go for some milk. Maybe you forget the milk and come home with $600 worth of other stuff. But when you go to Target, like when you go to Pinterest, you're there to be like, okay, let me see what's available to me. And then just the brands being discovered, like the 97% of Pinterest searches are unbranded. So people, like when you're like, oh, I want to make native content, I want to see if it comes in. Pinterest, you're good. You want your pins to have your URL or your product name or your brand name for sure, with an image and then a headline on the image itself for someone to take action. But because so much of it is curated and a lot of users, you putting together stuff that's branded is going to stand out and be like this unicorn. And like, oh, that's really interesting. I can see why I'm going to engage further. So this is a really great opportunity, especially if you're selling a product that 10 other Amazon stores are selling, to provide brand value, which of course leads to greater return on your exit. So that's, I was like trying to rush, I was like, oh, 9 minutes. Okay, that's at a very high level and very easy way of how you can have Pinterest be successful for your business. If you repurpose your content, you throw in a headline and a description request into ChatGPT, and then you publish consistently at a frequency that makes sense for you. Here's what we recommend to that capacity, and you are going to see massive visibility to your listing about your products and have brand exposure. So, sorry. Any questions? And stop sharing too, if that's helpful.
Lauren, that's awesome. Hey, one point or question, I guess, to bring up is, even though like Pinterest sounds so girly and it was originally all about design, I just want to say, like, I had an outdoor sports that was geared towards men, and I pinned everything, and I could see those pins being repinned, because even if you feel like, oh, it's mostly women shopping, well, there's like gifts for Father's Day is huge trending, like obviously Mother's Day just trended. So it doesn't matter what your product is, like it should be on Pinterest.
Yes, there's over 450 active users. The last quote said 463 million active users, with 40% of them not identifying as women. That's almost half. Like, that's so much. If you have a product that is available, absolutely. You'll have people that are in the women, the assumed women, like, yeah, they're looking to buy, they're gift shoppers for sure. But the amount of men that don't have access to the products that they want to see, we have a client that's in the auto mechanic space. They're selling tools. Their numbers are better than 90% of our clients, because it's just a supply and demand issue. Like, there are 100% are men that are active on Pinterest, and there's 1,000% women that are shopping for men that don't see the same assumptions of products. So when there's that supply and demand issue, it's like, okay, cool, this is what's available.
Yes, I love that. I love that for Pinterest. Can you see the chat? Do you want to read off questions, or you want me to?
Yeah, perfect. I'm happy to. So Debbie is saying, like, how do we know if the brand name is taken because you have the .com? So when you set up your account, I assume like you're talking about your handle. It's not very common that a brand name is taken for Pinterest, because if you remember, 97% of the content is from non-brands. So it's a lot of personal profiles. So in the event that your brand name is taken, you can get a little Pinterest, like you don't get as long of handles as other accounts. Oh, you follow Paul? Yes. Way to speak up. Follow men's fashion on Pinterest? Heck yes. So if your brand name is taken and you have the .com, what's great is you can verify your brand name through the URL. So if you verify that .com, which, it's like 3 steps that you need to do to get that brand verification. Once you do, then you're going to get way more visibility. Your shop will be integrated right away. And you don't have to wait for the Amazon shop to be integrated. But also we see like this 3x lift on all of your pins when you get that verified domain. Okay. Rachel is saying, I have a website that I advertise on Pinterest. Should I leave that as my website or change an Amazon listing or store address when advertising my Amazon items? Okay, really good question. So you have it goes to your overall strategy. My opinion changes based off of when Pinterest published that they're doing that Amazon connection. I would do a small budget, like 10% of your budget, 15% if you're able, and send that traffic to your Amazon listing. Because when Amazon is ready to pull the trigger and say, hey, we want brands to test the efficacy of driving traffic to their listing or doing on Pinterest purchases with their Amazon listing, you'll show up because there's even fewer people that are paying to send traffic. So if you are spending budget, I would allocate 10 to 15%. So with do you leave your website or change to the Amazon listing? Right now, keep the .com, and then you can change the destination URL to be that Amazon listing. I hope that makes sense, but if you're advertising Amazon items, allocate 10 to 15% of your budget, drive the URL to that listing, and then the rest you can keep, especially the organic stuff, to the .com for now, but can't make that promise. But we've seen time and time again, like, oh, this person's doing a little bit of both. Let me know. And also, depending when that stuff gets access, depending on where you're at budget level, I leave this to you, and I will honor this when that stuff gets listed. If you're looking for hey, have they dropped some surprise money? We're pretty close with a lot of the Pinterest folks because of how much we do with Pinterest. And then you're just like, hey, Lauren, it's almost Black Friday. Did they do any money drops? And I'll just be like, oh yeah, they're our client. Can you see if they can get some budget? And then just pass it into your account if we're able. See, okay, Debbie, you don't have a site though, just the .com. Okay, so you own the URL, but you haven't done anything to the URL, Debbie, if that's what I'm understanding. Right, okay, perfect. That's fine. You can still verify the URL because you'll want to have access to your DNS records. So you'll want to make sure that you integrate the Pinterest side of things. The hard part though is you're going to be sending people that are going to visit your profile. You're going to get people that want to visit your website. So if you have the website and you don't have anything set up to it, even if you can reroute it to your Amazon listing, that's going to be a really good place to go. So if someone clicks on it, because once you put that URL there, you're going to have people that want to go to it. So just redirect the traffic if you can. And to the follow-up, is there a difference between Pinterest.ca for Canada and Pinterest.com? Not in the sense that really matters. I mean, yes, there is, but if you're making your Pinterest account, it doesn't matter if you're doing a .co.uk or .com, when you set up your business profile, wherever your target audience is, if you do it at the .ca, you're going to find your predictive keywords as Canadian audience predictive keywords. And what's going to be great is Pinterest.com may pick up your ideas and post it and publish it on there. But for the user, they don't see a difference. It might have a bit more favoritism for regional stuff of which content they're going to see. So let's say Debbie and Paul have identical, similar content pieces. Debbie has a Canada account. Paul has a US account. Debbie's might show up a little bit higher because of just relevancy to that region and to be more locally supportive. But at the end of the day, it's going to matter about your keywords. And for the user, that's what they're looking for. I think it's to the VAs and stuff, if you have an executive team, a virtual assistant team, just the way I would start now is I would say, hey, can you go look at our Instagram account, look at our Facebook posts, take the creatives, or even just download it, even if it's not sized correctly, upload it to Pinterest, go to ChatGPT, write a headline, write a description, and just start posting. That's the easiest place to start. If you have a .com, you're going to want to install the Pinterest analytics tag. So that is something that you're going to want to incorporate, because that's how you're going to be able to see and measure purchases, how many people actually got to your website, how long they're spending on your website, and there's way even greater intricate studies, intricate tactics from there. But if you have a .com that's active, right? Like you have a page that's up to it, add the Pinterest analytics tag. If your .com has blogs and those blogs have pictures or those blogs have products, once you connect the Pinterest listing, you'll be able to see that Pinterest is going to make posts for you. So if you have a product feed, Pinterest is going to make a pin for every single product for you. If you have a blog that has a picture, if you do the Pinterest Chrome extension, you can click on the picture, and then through 2 more clicks where it says, yes, I want to make this a pin and this is the board I want to put it to, Pinterest will create and pull content and the image and make the pin for you. So Debbie's saying, I don't have to sign up on .com like Amazon. No website, newbie for Amazon business. So Gavin said very much, no problem if you're a newbie to it. Like you'll find success, like use a Canva account. You don't even have to have the pro level. Canva has a whole collection of stock photos that you can use. So if you can go, they have Pinterest size too. So you go and make the format, but it's a 2x3. Pull a picture, give like a headline to the top cover of it. So it's like, maybe a third of it is just like, Debbie, you were in the pet industry, right? So I'm going to say like, dog treats like dog treats for aging pups, something like that. And then you show, an older dog, like with a happy spring in its step. And then a small piece that like has your brand or your .com on it. That's as simple as you need for your Pinterest post. Like you don't have to go super extravagant to it. And you can pull a happy older dog photo. Evan is launching a product with no bank of content to pull from. 5 to 8 posts is a lot. What would you say to start with? For sure. Oh, pro Canva. Oh, good, Debbie, then you're even better. Evan, what I would start with is definitely going to Canva. If you can upgrade to the pro or like become best friends with Debbie and borrow her pro account logins, just go in and pull a bunch of stock photos. I would make a template where you have just like the stock photo. The top third is where you're going to put a headline in the image, stock photo, and then the bottom like 10%, you'll put the brand or the URL. You can see like, I'll send you one of ours, for example. If you go to the Asian Beauty Essentials Pinterest, let me see if I can get it there. You can see exactly the formula that we use for our pins. Evan, just do that, copy and paste, and you'll be able to just put in different stock photos. So you will be responsible for changing the headline and finding a different stock photo. But once you make that template, I wouldn't necessarily start with 5 to 8 a day because you don't have a content bank, but I would start for 1 a day if you can. I don't know if the other platforms, if people are having questions, but I'm like beyond excited. Like I know there's so much to say with Pinterest and like the ease of starting Pinterest. If you have a bank of content, is copy, paste, post, and publish.
And
just
because to that point, there'll be some people on other platforms, other people, of course, who are watching the replay, they couldn't make it. Can maybe in the chat too, let's put the best way for people to follow up, either whether it's question or just contact you guys, you or your team. That would be that'd be great.
Absolutely. So my team is at mongoosemedia.us. And I'll put that here. So if you want to email me directly, because I know this is your guys's, it's Lauren at mongoosemedia.us. And if you want to like connect on like other quick questions, LinkedIn is probably.
I think you put it, just switch the chat to the everyone button. I do that. Of course, it's set to.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm sorry.
This little panel here,
Okay, yeah. So LinkedIn is definitely going to be the place where you're going to talk to me directly. If you send me an email, Lauren at mongoosemedia.us, my assistant will intersect your email, which is fine. It just takes a little longer. And then, of course, any questions, you can go to mongoosemedia.us. We have a bunch of blogs on how you can get started with Pinterest, things that we're trending specifically on Pinterest. But like, I'm super flexible. I'm like so obsessed with this topic and like seeing the massive results. Like I just wish more brands would participate because takes so much little effort. But for Evan's question of do you push to Amazon or to your website, it just depends on what your strategy is. If you can, I again recommend 10 to 15% of doing Amazon listing traffic, because you want to get ahead of Amazon and Pinterest attention to that department, so you can qualify for some of the assumed money that they're going to be giving to brands.
I was just going to add, Lauren, just kind of broadly our approach always with this, because, you know, with our own website or on the Amazon side, because it was always tempting because, oh, our website, the margins were higher, but the value of Amazon because of the algorithm, and, you know, we could 100 times outrun our sales and profitability by making sure that you concentrate on that Amazon channel enough.
Yeah, no, 100%. The scalability and the insights that you can get for who your target customers are, you can bring absolutely into the platform. But of course, margins, it depends on what your strategy is. If you're able to do 5 to 8 posts a day, and because you've got a bank of content, you're going to find more scalable success by driving traffic to your listing, assuming that you're at the place where you're moving probably 10 to 15 units a day for your product. Then I would send it to the Amazon, because it's going to increase your rankings, because you're going to get more visibility. You're going to get picked up by Pinterest to post onto Google, and there's just a lot of SEO value that goes to it.
Awesome. I saw Joey's comment. Thank you, Lauren. This is gold to get ahead of your competition. Great info. And this will be in the training library for everyone, for all of our coaching members to have access to it directly too. So really awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll coordinate later in the year to have you back. Debbie says yes. Thank you, Lauren. Just followed you on LinkedIn. Nikki, we'll get access to the slides used today.
Yes. Well, I mean, assuming Jamie says yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Whatever you're willing to share. Again, we're open book on our end. We're just whatever helps people the most, and whatever Lauren's willing to share, all the way from Italy.
Can I do something special for anyone that's on live?
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone has a Pinterest account that's active, or if they, connect with Jamie and Joelle, we'll do 24 hours, because there are people that do the replay. If you send over the brand and you put your stuff together, like, sometime in the month of June when you're ready, I'll fully audit and send you back personalized recommendations, like with a loom of things that you can do, because I know it starts off hard. If you want, because you can totally do this by yourself. So for those that show up live or like watch the replay within 24 hours, Jamie, if they message you, like, I'll totally be like, hey, here's some content that's trending in your topic. Make these pins go.
That's great. Yeah, super generous on your part, Lauren. And so you guys make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn. You got her team's contact up there. And all serious, go check the podcast episodes, both episodes with Joey there. That was there's a reason it's like getting tons and tons of listens to it, because it's really great info, and as today was too. So really appreciate it. I can see a lot of the comments. Wow, thank you. Rachel says, wow, thank you. Evan, thank you. Nikki says, yeah, we'll be taking advantage of that. So awesome, cool. It's always great to see. And then let's see, I'm sure there's a few more. And again, if you guys are on other platforms or watching the replay, again, obviously just reach out, connect, and directly to Lauren and team. But of course, Joey, myself, feel free to reach out to us for any help, or if you need to get reconnected with Lauren, we're happy to facilitate that as well. So, well, cool. With that, so Lauren, usually, I'm used to you being like in Disney World, like at Epcot Center. So are you sure you're not just like at the little Italy stand within Epcot out there? Or
I was like, you can see how dark it is. It's like 9 p.m.
All right,
I
fine.
promise.
Good point. You're not at Epcot. All right.
Not today. But that is funny. That is, if anyone's in Orlando, like, let me know, like, especially,
yeah, when will you be
I'm
back?
totally down for boba. I'll be back end of June. So I'm here for a minute.
Oh, wow. Okay. So if you're in Orlando next week, don't look her up. She won't be there. Yeah.
No,
So.
but if you're in Orlando, because everyone visits, especially with kiddos.
Yep.
I'm around. I love boba tea. Always down to collaborate.
Awesome.
But Jamie, I've just sent you, Joey, the slides, so they'll be in your inbox in a minute.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Joey and I will coordinate. We're at this SellerCon event this week. And
Yay.
we've got a few more events in the fall we'll be going to, but yeah, it's great here. Lauren, this worked, and yeah, feedback's great, and you guys will have the replay, and yeah, so I think we're good here. Lauren, this was really appreciate it. I know Joey and I both appreciate it, and yeah, look forward to connecting with you again. Any more events on your end for the year, you think?
Yeah, I'll be going to the e-commerce of Boxed, and well, January I'll be at Traffic and Conversions for sure, and other stuff that they're international. So if anyone's in Europe, there's some fun events happening over here.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for that again, and yeah, everyone can look out for the replay and enjoy your Italian food over in Italy there.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I've had more gelato in the last month and a half than you could imagine. Ciao, Debbie. Ciao.
All right. Thanks, everyone. All right. Thanks.